Okay, so let's jump right in. We're looking at a really interesting period between roughly 2025 and 2028, where some of the biggest companies on the planet are going through a huge change. We're going to break down the three big transformations that are completely rewiring how these places actually work. To really get what's happening, it helps to think of a big company as just a giant, complex machine. It's got all these moving parts: people, super powerful computers, big ideas, and they're all supposed to be working together to make stuff, help customers, and basically shape the world we live in. But here's the kicker. Right now, those machines aren't just getting a little tune-up. Nope. They are being completely torn down and rebuilt from the ground up. So the real question is, how? What do the blueprints for this new kind of corporate machine even look like? Let's get into it. All right, so the first massive transformation is the rise of what you could call AI helpers. And this isn't about some single giant superbrain running the whole company. It's actually the opposite. Think of it like giving every single employee their own personal, incredibly smart assistant. And just so we're on the same page, when we say artificial intelligence here, we're not talking about sci-fi robots. It's much more practical. It's basically a magic helper for every worker that can read, write, and crunch information at mind-blowing speeds. I mean, it could be drafting a report for the marketing team, answering a super complex question for an engineer, or even helping to design a new logo. But here's the thing, you can't just flip a switch and have these helpers appear. It's a real challenge, and it comes in three parts. First, companies have to build these massive data highways so the AI can actually get to the information it needs. Second, they have to teach these helpers what's true and what's important. And third, and this one is absolutely crucial, they need to have systems in place to check the AI's work, to make sure it's accurate and actually helpful. A perfect way to think about this is like giving every single student in a school their own super smart study buddy. I mean, what an incredible advantage, right? But you still need the teacher, the human expert, to check the final answers and make sure everything is actually correct. It's all about that partnership between the human and the machine. Okay, let's move on to our second big trend. This one is all about how a company's systems are actually put together. We're calling it the Lego business. This is a huge shift toward building things in a modular way, where everything is designed to be changed easily. For decades, companies built their technology like these giant, solid statues. They were huge, they were complicated, and if you wanted to change one little piece, you basically had to smash the whole thing and start over. Well, the new way is completely different. Now, companies are building their systems out of small, independent blocks. Yeah, just like Legos. And the amazing benefit here is flexibility, total flexibility. If the sales team needs a new tool, you don't have to rebuild the entire system. You just design a new block and you snap it right into place. This lets companies adapt and innovate at a speed that was it was impossible before. Now, think about it. When you have all these AI helpers running around accessing information and all these Lego blocks being swapped in and out, one thing becomes more important than absolutely anything else. You have to be able to trust your data. And that brings us to our third transformation, which is all about what's called digital governance, or creating a reliable data fabric. I want you to think of a company's data like a city's water supply. When that water is flowing everywhere, to every department, to every AI helper, you have to be 100% certain that it's clean. Because if the data is dirty, if it's wrong or out of date, then every single decision, every report, every insight that comes from it is going to be flawed. So how do you keep that data pure? Well, companies are building these really sophisticated purification systems. This means they have digital filters to clean out all the errors and junk, powerful security locks to keep it safe, and even automated inspectors that are constantly checking to make sure the data is truthful and reliable. This entire system of trusted, connected information, that's what people call a data fabric. It's like having a single unified map of all the company's information. Data from finance, sales, HR, it all flows into one reliable place. This makes sure that every single person and every single AI is working from the exact same playbook. So let's pull all this together and do a quick recap, because these three trends aren't just happening on their own. They all work together to build the company of the very near future. So we started with the AI helpers, right? Giving every employee a smart assistant. That's made possible by the Lego business model, which allows for that quick, flexible way of building things. And holding it all together, the foundation for the whole thing, is that layer of trust and data, making sure everything runs on clean, reliable information. When you put these three pieces together, you get more than just a few new tools. You get a fundamental shift, a deep change in how the world's biggest companies think about their strategy, how they build their products, and ultimately, how they grow. The future of how we work is being built right now, with these very blueprints. And that kind of leads to a final thought, right? As these transformations really take hold, they're going to create all sorts of new challenges and new opportunities. So maybe, just maybe, one day, you'll be the one designing that next block, or the next AI, or the next big transformation.